Welcome to Speaking About Songs of Faith, a series of reflections by Holy Comforter parishioners about their favorite hymns and anthems. I am Patrick Pope, the Director of Music at Holy Comforter. Today, I have the privilege of interviewing John Elder for the second of 6 interviews to be shared during the Lenten season. John, welcome to Speaking About Songs of Faith.
Well, I have too many favorites. That's
Okay.
It's hard to choose.
Sure.
One particular favorite of mine is just because it's not one that's used very much. Is They Cast Their Nets in Galilee?
Okay.
Do you know that one?
I know it, but I don't think we know it very well at Holy Comforter, if at all. So it'll be something new at Holy Comforter.
Mhm.
They cast their nets in Galilee, just off the hills of brown. Such happy simple fisher folk before the Lord came down. Contented, peaceful fishermen, before they ever knew the peace of God that filled their hearts, brimful and broke them too. Young John, who dreamed of flapping sail, homeless in that lost tide, returned home a dreaming net, and now was crucified. The peace of God, it is no peace, but strife closed in the sound. Yet let us pray for one thing, the marvelous peace of God.
And I was thinking of it because of the gospel from last week with the calling of the disciples. So it's
Right.
it I think we sang it at my church growing up occasionally, like every few years, like every 3-5 years.
Yeah. Where did you grow up? What was your church?
My church growing up was St. Paul's in Mobile, Alabama.
Okay, so you're from Alabama.
hmm
How long have you been in North Carolina?
Uh, 6.5 years now.
Okay, all right. Um,
Yeah.
well, so tell me more about. So I am aware of They Cast Their Nets in Galilee. Tell me more about why it's a favorite. Is it the words? Is it the connection to the gospel, or is it the tune itself, or is it both of those things?
I think it's both because the tune is kind of deceptively peaceful, but the lyrics, especially the last verse, really contrast with that
Right.
a little
Yeah.
bit. That it's almost a reminder that God calls us to sometimes things that are uncomfortable or even dangerous.
Right.
Yeah.
You're right. It's a very it illustrates the how they were called and the lengths they were willing to go to fulfill that call.
hmm
Yeah. Um, this is one that I now that I'm reflecting on this, I think the choir has sung this once or twice, but it's not been a congregation wide hymn. But it's one that's worthy of being learned, and I'm glad to know that it's one of your favorites. That's great. Yeah.
yeah.
So tell me about your musical background. It sounds like you might have grown up singing in a choir or playing an instrument or both.
But sort of both. I was in children's choir all through growing up.
Hmm.
Um, And then I was in choral groups in school, in middle school and high school. So I sang a lot, and I was in band in high school and middle school, high school, and college, and played the trumpet. So
You did. Do you
lots
still
of
play? Do you still have your trumpet?
I still play some every so often, or it's mostly been every year. I go back and I play in a sort of New Orleans style brass band that
Okay.
some of my friends and I started in high school. Almost as it started off as kind of a joke, and then we
Okay.
realized that people were all because our high school band was playing in Mardi Gras parades to raise money for new uniforms and stuff like that. And
Sure.
realized that Mardi Gras organizations would pay a high school band however much money. We're like, well, where's our cut of that?
Right. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you play any other instruments besides trumpet?
I used to play the piano when I was younger. I can still read piano music and kind of pick out a melody with my right hand, but I
Sure.
can't play. I can't like actually play anymore because I haven't really done it since I was 10 years old or something.
Sure. Sure. Um, I just had a visual memory of you, given my vantage point sitting at the organ console. One of the very first times that you, I guess, served as a lay server on the altar. I'm not sure if you were, if you would have been I don't guess you would have been a crucifer. Anyway, you were in the procession one Sunday morning, and you were carrying something. It might have been you were carrying the gospel book. I don't know what it was, but it was obvious you did not have a hymnal open, and whatever we were singing, you were singing right along. And I happened to look up and I thought, wow, he's singing with no bulletin, no hymnal, no nothing. And so I was really impressed, and I thought, I got to get to know this guy somehow. Um, so that's impressive.
That was probably one of the rector at my at St. Paul's growing up. His name is Roger Porter. He retired about 20 years ago, but we joke that his hymn selection was the Roger Porter Top 40. He had his favorites, and that was what we sang. So all those ones have been drilled into my brain since I was that big.
Sure. So yeah, repetition is a good teaching tool.
Mm-hmm.
I
slightly silly one was that stuck with me is Earth and All Stars.
Oh, sure.
That one, the test tube, the loud boiling test tubes
Right.
verse.
Exactly.
I sang that one for the first time at my church in college, and
Yeah.
me and a couple of friends who were sitting together in the pew, we about fell over laughing because
Yeah.
the notion of loud boiling test tubes praising God is a little bit silly.
I agree. I'm trying to think the first time I ever encountered that. Something that has informed my hearing and playing and singing of that particular hymn is it was originally written for St. Olaf College, so
Hmm.
for a chapel service there, and so it makes a little more sense in the context of a chapel service at a college.
Yeah.
You've got all kinds of different people in the room who are in that kind of academic environment. But yeah, for your average congregation to sing about loud boiling test tubes is a little weird. A little weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still a great hymn. Such great images.
Hmm. Yeah.
In
And it kind of feels like a modern update of can tell I was raised Episcopalian, not Baptist, because I can't quote chapter and verse, but
Mhm.
the psalm, which psalm is it that it's basically just it has that repetition of this praise the Lord and this praise the Lord and
Yeah. Oh, it's the last three or four in the 150 Psalms, like 158, 159, or 148, 149, 150, are
Mhm,
all kind of like that. They have different images and then praise the Lord. It's probably one
mhm.
of those. Yeah.
Yeah. So it seems like it kind of nice that it was inspired, like
Mhm.
they the psalmist, whoever wrote those psalms, was talking about things in their environment. So
Yeah. But I know you're probably zoomed out for the day. So
just a little bit, yeah.
yeah. Thanks, John. Have a good rest of your day.
Thanks.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the second installment of Speaking About Songs of Faith. Next week's episode will feature Mary Cox and her favorite, Praise to the Lord the Almighty.